Welcome to Feature Friday, where we explore all the cool functions of our Roof Wizard software. Today I'd like to revisit some of the functionality that's hidden away under the Modify Roof menu. And so some of these things are really quite powerful, and if you don't know they're there, you might stress over how you create a complicated roof shape, bearing in mind that a complicated roof shape is really just a series of simple roofs. So if we've modeled our roof, and we go to the Modify Roof function, and you'll have a whole bunch of buttons here that all basically modify the roof substantially in a single mouse click. But in addition to the ones we use frequently, we have a whole bunch of extra ones over here that we use less often, and I'll cover these off in the next couple of Feature Friday videos. But let's look at the main ones first. The most obvious thing is turning that hip end into a gable end. So we'll just hit the ridge line. Remember, the prompts tell you what to do. So if you're not clear, just slow down and pay attention, and the software will generally tell you what to do. So that just simply turned a hip end into a gable end. Another one that we use quite a bit is the one called Drop Eave, where the overhang on a particular part of the roof is a bit different to another part of the roof. So we might drop that down. It's probably a bit big. Let's drop it down a metre. And 3.5 feet for our Imperial friends. So that's just dropped the edge of the roof down. So the Eave line comes along and then drops down a little bit. Another one that you might use quite frequently is the function that we call Atrium. So distance along, let's just measure. So that's M for measure, not M for metric. So that allows us to measure the distance along. The width of it might be from there to say there. You're able to just type in the number if you want to. That's an easy thing to do too. We might make that 3,500, but the measurement gave us a clue. And if we use the, let's say 600, and we hit OK. Now that's M for measure, remember, not M for metric, M for measure. So we hit OK and it goes in. But what about if we made that a negative number? And oof, just drops it out. Pretty handy. So straight away, you can see we're starting to create quite a complicated roof shape here. What's next that might be handy? The function called Valley Gable. It's actually a bit of a mix-up, this one. You can do lots of things with it. We're going to do a gable, the distance along each eave, so that's from the end of the valley along the eave. So we might make that, say, 1,500. The slope of it, well, it can be similar slope to the rest of the roof or a different slope altogether. So we might make that 35 degrees. And we want it to stick out of the roof a little bit, so we might want it to stick it out, say 1,500. And we hit OK, and it builds up. But if I select that valley and say, well, instead of making it a gable end, make it a flat plane, and it will then run the new bit of the roof up to the end. So we can go to the apex or give it a specific pitch. So in this case, let's just go straight to the apex. It'll run it all the way up to the top. So we hit OK, and bang, it's in. But you can also use this function on your hip end. So we're going to put a gable end on the hip end. We might make that one 1,200. The pitch of it, 30 degrees, that'll do. And the extension similar, and we hit OK, and it puts it in. So that function that we were using there was, if we go to the word menu, you'll see that was the hip valley gable function that gave us these results. But we also have a thing here called the hip valley dormer. So if I select that as an option, we select the hip line. Remember, read the prompts, it tells you what to do. Distance from the base of the hip, so it's from the base of that up the hip line. Might make that 2,100. The width of the dormer across the front, and the pitch of it. Now this has got to be, this is a steep roof, so we need that to be fairly steep. So we might make that 43 degrees, and we hit OK, and bam, it goes in. So if we look at what we've created in isometric view there, you'll see that, boy, we've created a pretty complicated series of roof geometries there, eh? So explore some of these functions. You will find that they'll be extraordinarily helpful over a period of time. The more of these that you play with, the more you'll become familiar with them, and the more helpful the software will be. So we'll do more on this project in a minute. So, but that's about it for this week, and I'll keep adding more stuff for next week. Have a great weekend, and we'll speak to you again soon on Feature Friday.